Got it. All right, we are on the YouTubes.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. I think people are watching.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
just hoping. People, if you're watching, I just want to say thank you. And I hope we're providing you with occasional reason to stick around. Maybe
Fingers
not
crossed.
consistent. Less consistent than Tony would want. And it's not too much to ask once a week.
I mean, no truer statement has ever been spoken, Casey Lai. There's no popping this time, right?
I'm not hearing any popping. Are you hearing that chainsaw that's going outside of my house right now?
No, because there's a roar of traffic happening outside my place. This is what happens when you're not in a legit studio. Like when we did Saul's podcast and we were in that lovely studio. How rich did you feel?
I felt pretty rich, although it didn't get picked up for another season. So I guess we'll have to find a different.
We're on the YouTubes. Don't be announcing stuff.
I'm not. Not by that network for racist reasons. Clear racist
reasons.
Yeah.
But hi, YouTube. We're very happy to be back, and we hope that you are watching this show. Wait, we have people watching. Yeah, there's 2 people watching.
One is Solomon. Hey, Saul. Love the show. Not content wise.
As we get text messages being like, I'm not here to joke.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, God. We have fun. Well, would you like to do a show since we
I'm ready to do a show.
Are you before doing a show?
Are you opening?
I am.
What a relief. Finally, some help from Tony for once.
All right. Oh, hold on. Let me just make sure everything is, all the bells and whistles are belling and whistling. And then we can go ahead and go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Gay Power Half Hour, the only gay podcast that says, hey, who cares about banning books? Leave the reading to us. I'm Tony Soto, and this here is...
the librarian herself, Casey Lai, here to serve you banned books, mommy.
Shout out to all you librarians out there who have to make your kids stupider by pulling books out of the library.
I mean, it is an interesting time that we live in. And by time, I mean country, because we're fighting over still whether gay people exist.
Whether gay people exist, whether Black people have a right to live in this country and just do everyday things.
Yeah.
Look, there's been a lot going on already in 2023. We've had over 30 mass shootings in the month of January. Can you believe that? Over 30 mass shootings.
I can.
And we had 3 here in Southern California alone.
Yeah. That's a 1 a day average, which is, kind of on par. I just say it is an amazing thing. It's like, we had Monterey Park, there was Half Moon Bay. Those were those were the 2 big ones that got news recently. And I just like being in Europe, reading the news, American news from Europe or anywhere. It's like, how does that not sound like a chaotic country where you wouldn't want to go to for fear of getting shot in the fucking head by a fucking insane lunatic who's been left to fend by themselves and armed?
Fun fact that I learned on the TikTok. I know how you want to question that as a resource, but fun fact. about that is that there is like for travel and tourism from people outside of this country, like we don't rate high on the list of places to fucking visit. You know how they have like, don't go here because there's terrorism, don't go here because yeah. They're like, don't go here and don't go to a concert. Like maybe skip church. Like don't do anything public because you could get fucking shot. That is what this country is known for elsewhere. I mean, if anything, we still need those tourism dollars. And if these Europeans are like, I don't even know what a gun is, the last thing I want to do is get a bullet through my head. Like, why would you come here?
Yeah, no, it is certainly something to take in consideration where you're bringing your family on a holiday.
Yeah,
I don't get, and I'm just like, I get wanting to see the Grand Canyon in certain national parks, but I'm just like,
they're beautiful.
Yeah, is anyone like itching to see all the fucking like hardcore beautiful architecture in Miami? It was built over 60 years ago. Like from Europe, you're like, yeah, I get it, okay, fucking my family lives in a house literally just that's been around for 800 years. We're not special. We just live in Europe.
I think you come here for the consumption, right? Like you come here for the
tuberculosis,
for the filling up of food, for the for capitalism. Buy. I think that's like why here's the thing. I feel like this country would only be interesting if we left it to the indigenous. If we could have seen what the indigenous people could have like become as they've had time to grow in the however many years this country's been here. Yeah. Because, I just drove across this country for fucking Christmas. And I'll tell you, it's fucking ugly. You know what I mean? It's ugly. The people
it's vast. Ugly. There's a lot of no space. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I guess you're right.
The people are ugly. Like, and it's like, yeah, it's vast. Why haven't you done anything with it? And if you're not doing anything with it, why'd you take it away from the indigenous? Because they were just chilling on it. You know what I mean? They were, first of all, why didn't we just buy little pockets for the cities and just leave the rest to the indigenous? Everything.
I agree. The country would be a much better place if it was just the cities, and then all of that red that's usually we consider Republican land full of conservatives. No, that is the land that the indigenous live on because it's theirs to begin with, and you keep seeing things like where the real work with like showing the way for moving forward with a sustainable world is being done on reservations and by indigenous populations, and like the buffalo comes back because of not because of the meat industry, because there is a way of doing things sustainably in this fucking world that we just bulldozed over for hundreds of years. Do we have
wild buffalo here still?
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
Oh, have they made a comeback?
Yeah.
Oh,
thriving.
Great. Listen, they're very big. Oh wait, no, I saw a bison. That's not the same. Is that the same thing?
Pretty sure.
Are they buffaloes and bisons are the same thing?
I'm pretty sure this is the same thing. I don't want to go out on a
Listen, we're not
zoological limb here. Yeah.
But so I did see. Well, I saw a bison, which I'm assuming is a buffalo, when I was driving the back Mormon country by the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
trying to see it, and I remember I was in a Wrangler Jeep, and I remember just a good sized Jeep.
Yeah.
I remember it was dark, but I remember driving by this fucking huge rock that was right on the edge of the road. That was no rock. It was a bison, and it was about as big as the fucking Wrangler Jeep.
Yeah, they could stomp on you. They could stomp on you. I was in a Yellowstone one time and camping, and like a bunch of buffalo walked by. That was scary because they're so big. I'm so small, I'm not made of sinew. I'm made of marijuana and some light flesh. Anyway, yes, guns are an issue in this country.
Well, Casey, cops are in the news. Cops are in the news again. There's a story coming out of Atlanta because they want to create a cop city, which is basically a facility where they can further militarize cops. And there were mass protests in Georgia, resulting in a murder of one of the protesters. And now we have 4 cops in Memphis who seem to have maybe targeted someone, publicly beat them, talking about Tyree Nichols.
Right.
And then he succumbed to his injuries and died 3 days later.
So the targeting, are you talking about what you heard on TikTok about him potentially being one of their...
Well, I'm talking about the fact that the chief of police herself said that they are questioning whether or not it was a legit stop to start with. That was said by her. It didn't seem justified. Now, piggybacking on that, the TikTok has said that there is a chance that Tyree may or may not allegedly have had a relationship with one of the cops' exes.
Which if that is real, look, I'll believe anything. I'll believe anything I hear on TikTok, one. And two, I'll believe.
First of all, you won't, and that's the problem.
No, but I will really believe any negative thing that is said about a cop and their motivations, because a lot of times that shit turns out to be real. It's a devastating situation, and it's just like horrific, and 4 or 5 cops, I think, brutally fucking beat this kid for no real fucking reason, and it just goes on, and everyone's going to make. Everyone's picking a side to talk from, the right is saying, well, they're black officers, so racism had nothing to do with it, and you make everything about race, but it's not racist when 5 black cops kill a black guy. That's not racism. You know how I know it's not racism? I was brought up in Florida schools, and I know what racism is. And when a black kills a black, there's nothing racist about that.
I feel like, here's the thing. The cops have the whole police institution. It's all systematic racism. It's all from a point of power. And here's the thing.
Power, for sure.
There's no argument when it comes to there are certain POCs who crave that privilege a little bit and get high on the fact that they are above and have a bit of power. You know what I mean? And if the allegations are true that the TikTok says about that, it's an abuse of power. It was like, look, I have this chance to fucking get my revenge, and this is how it is. But the thing is like, there were 5 cops that did the beating, but there were 3 paramedics who were put on leave and pending further investigation. And there was a white cop who was recently just fired. So if he was fired
instead of arrested,
they initially suspended him, and that's why his name wasn't released, is what they say. They're like, they don't release the names of officers who were suspended. But if they're fired, then they'll release that information. So now they're releasing, because I believe the white cop was fired, but he was there at the first scene. Like I think he pepper sprayed or tased Tyree. And then Tyree knew that his life was in danger, so he got up and ran, and that white cop was too much of a fat fuck to run, so he wasn't there for the initial like the ending part where it was like a
brutal beating.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think again, I haven't been following TikTok as closely as you, so I don't know all of the details. But one thing that I do know is that it was 5 cops who were pretty newish to this force, especially it was called like the Scorpion Force
Division, yeah.
And what a weird name. The idea of the division was that it was supposed to be more like community based on the ground, and like, I don't know, Scorpion Division feels a little, I don't know, full of poison. But
I don't know that it was community. I think it was putting high numbers of officers in crime-ridden areas.
Okay.
I don't think it was painted as a community building thing. I think it was like, we need more cop presence here because this is a really dangerous area.
Well, and I just heard an interesting analysis about it, which was saying it's like, if you're not going to have any superiors, like basically these guys got like a PowerPoint amount of training. They didn't have a single superior cop with them in this like a officer or anything in this this specific group. And so there's no like training that de-escalates the situation that they had. And as a result, we get this like insane scenario. And another person was saying that the only training that they have seen to be super effective with cops in situations like this is training where they're trained in a scenario to talk their fellow cops down off of something. And that type of training is not happening enough. And so it's like, people on the left too are now, not like the super left are saying, we need more cops, the crime is an issue, blah, blah, blah. We need more cops. But it's like, we don't need more cops if there's not going to be any responsible training and accountability along with hiring more cops. I'm fine with the idea. Yeah. I mean,
we need to make people less poor. That's what we need to do. Well, like the thing is like you want in this country alone, we want to think that the police are the people who fix crime. They don't. Like there are way more unsolved crimes than there are solved crimes from any police department in this whole fucking country. There are more innocent people who are in jail right now as a result of crooked, lying cops than there are out. And when it comes down to it, they want our police department militarized. They think, give them more money. Give them more money. Why would we try to work on mental health? Why would we try to fucking do community building situations? Why would we try to fucking work on de-escalation? They don't want to do any of that because they want us dumb and scared. And look, they're doing it. Like they're doing it. Like, and I, it's, I know I talk about TikTok a lot, but I'm saying is like there is literal videos by the thousands of cops who are being made to look like complete dumbasses because of these, these free speech people who go around and film things so that way they can get the cops' attention. They don't know the laws. They don't know the laws. They don't know what they're doing. Like the how many weeks does it take to be a cop? 8? Like,
not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and then we get them. Then we fucking load them up with weapons to the gill. Like, what the fuck? It's a crazy situation. And I'm gonna. And here's another thing. Sorry. And then we can. Well, you can talk. But here's the thing. I am tired of these news cycles taking up my goddamn precious minutes with, a cop was shot down. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. All right. I don't give a fuck if a cop was shot or murdered. I don't care. You chose the job. Sorry, bro. But until we start covering every fucking innocent person that they shoot through the night, until we get a moment where they get a fucking procession, a little car parade as a result, I don't give a fuck. I think one less shitty cop.
Yeah, I mean, I did you see those cops who killed the double amputee who was trying to get away?
In a wheelchair who was rolling away. He was rolling away.
Nothing says dangerous criminal on the loose like a guy limping away from your guns.
The fact that this could get me shot.
Yeah.
Like holding a fucking vape. Who knows if I was just a tinge darker out on the street and I fucking held up a vape at some point, an inhaler, a cell phone. People are shot because the thing is like you Blue Lives Matter fuck. They're all fucking pussies. They're all flaccid dicks. Like they're all so scared. They have bulletproof vests on. Mm-hmm. But they're so scared. So they have to fucking shoot. And they have to shoot to kill. And that's the problem. Like, why can't we look, if you feel like you need to shoot, why can't we shoot to maim? Why is it gotta be kill?
I like watching a lot of British shows and the British crime shows, the cops are always chasing down the criminals, and they don't have guns. They beat them with a baton, sometimes aggressive force. I don't like that part of it, but that they're on it's a foot chase. They're more concerned about having a heart attack than they are about getting shot. And it's a civilized country, where the where there's, I don't know, where the racism doesn't involve in death. But still, no, it's a crazy thing that if the cops were doing all the same stuff, but at least preventing daily mass shootings, maybe I'd be like, well, I don't know, we can have a conversation about what works and doesn't work. But I tell you, I don't feel protected in this stupid fucking country. So I don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're beating people to death. Girlfriends.
I just don't get
allegedly.
it. And what I liked about Tyree's parents' lawyer, I mean, he's the guy who does
Ben Crump.
He's like, this is the blueprint now. He's like, the way that you fired, arrested, and fucking charged these 5 cops is the blueprint now. Because if it's a pale face fucking crook, which are the cops, they fucking investigate. Oh, they investigate for years. Oh, years they need to investigate. What do you need to investigate? Body cams are there. Every fucking building has a security camera on it these times. Like, seriously. Like, they're saying that Tyree had the sense enough to run to where he knew there would be a camera on the street. Because cops are fucking liars. And cops protect their fucking own. It's a goddamned gang. It's a gang that we pay for with our tax fucking dollars. Yep. And the thing is like, we have this false sense of ooh, they're protecting and serving. No, they're not. No, they're not. And if you think that they're fucking protecting and serving, that's because you're not on their fucking radar, bro. Like, the moment you get on a cop's radar, that's a different fucking thing.
It's amazing to me how often this happens with the body cam. Like, cops know that. And it's just one of those things where it's like, in this weird rage of fight or flight and not flight, fight, they forget.
But they forget. Let's face it, body cams are shit. Like, it's a lot of fucking.
No, I know, no, but it's clear. Like, I mean, it's very clear. A lot of recent events, what is happening, and it's just like, I just or not. It's like fucking Chauvin and Derek and George Floyd, like. All these cameras, and you're still gonna sit on the guy's neck for 8 fucking minutes
and stare right at the cameras. Cameras.
That is like, that's the ingrained, deep, systematic fucking racism. I would be like, oh no, I'm doing the right thing. This is protocol.
Yeah.
Choking the life out of this person.
Truthfully, it's not ideal that it was 5 cops, but if this 5 black cops, but if this comes out for like a whole other thing, it's still pigs abusing their fucking power. You know what I mean? And I'm over police as much as I'm over the fucking religious. All right. They can all fuck off because they're, and there's blue lives matter. Where are you, blue lives? Why aren't we fucking complaining about the fact that these cops were arrested? Because they're fucking black. This is the thing. It's like, you can fucking pull out any of these hate groups' hypocrisy in a heartbeat once it happens to a person of color. Like, once anything involves a person of color, that's not them getting murdered. Yeah. Because that they cheer for.
Yeah.
Like, this must be really confusing for the Blue Lives Matter, because they're like, well, we got a dead black person. We like that. And we got arrested black people. Ooh, we like that too. Ooh, but they're cops. It's like, where's your outrage?
Yeah, I mean, their outrage is over the fact that people want to teach the actual African American history in certain states in this country too.
Not in Florida, bitch. You're not learning shit in Florida. They're gonna listen. We're gonna have book burning situations, because here's the thing: DeSantis wants to be Hitler. DeSantis thinks that, like, what's happening in Florida right now, and like what's happening in like Iowa right now regarding like public schools, and like Arizona, I think just went into a voucher program for their schools. Like if you're not a reasonable person, look, I'm not trying to fucking meet up with the far right. There's no change in their minds. They're too hopped up on Godcock, and they can't do anything outside of like, fucking wishing for the apocalypse. But if you are center leaning and you do not see that literally conservatives are trying to make it so that you are not your kids are not properly educated, like the fact that Florida is pulling books and they're making it so that librarians feel weird about because they can't say anything because it could be a felony, because you don't want someone to read about a Black queer person's account of being a youth.
Yep.
I got in a fight with someone, guess where?
TikTok.
About the book Not All Boys Are Blue.
Okay.
And this is a non-fictional account of this man's life, George something.
Williams, I think.
Matthew, right? George Williams Matthew, something like that. Anyway,
yeah.
You can Google the title. And this is
George
a
Johnson. George
you.
Matthew Johnson.
There we go. I knew that their last name Johnson was in my sphere. I'm just saying I knew it. But like, and so in this story, there's an account of where he has a gay experience with a cousin. And it's a little like, I mean, it's not like shoved his cock in my mouth and sucked it till he came. But
it's the South. We're only going to talk about white heterosexual incest, okay? None of this gay Black incest down here, all right?
But they don't even want that to be said because they don't want they don't want out of the closet that they're all fucking molesting their relatives and whatnot.
Right.
But the thing is like the big thing is like kids don't need to read. Now this book is for 14 and up. Okay. But they're like, kids don't need to read this kind of trash. This is grooming. And I'm like, no, this is a non-fictional account. This is a person who is sharing a story that happened to him when he was in that age group. And to think that a young person who picked up that book who needs to read something like that because it's happening in his life, like maybe he's fucking his cousin,
right,
or maybe his uncle's fucking him,
right?
Like this puritarian aspect of life now where we're like, we got to keep kids away. They need to be innocent. Honey, they're getting raped in fucking church.
Right. Well, what it really is, what we need them to do is not know what's coming to them.
Yeah, exactly.
One, that, two, also grooming. I don't know. I haven't read the book, but I have a feeling it's not a love story between this man and his cousin, and how everyone should fuck their cousin because that's
right.
How love happens. No, I'm pretty sure that's not the fucking point of the book. But of course, no one's reading the book. People are responding to words, and that's what happens when we are a world of 140 characters or less. I like no one's reading. Everyone's getting their information from people yelling it in their fucking faces, and as a result, we have a very homophobic and racist governor in one of the biggest states doing a lot of damage. I'm not to make this about politics because this is fucking shitty, and but of course it's about politics. A lot of people are like, beware DeSantis, and again, I'm scared of anyone who fucking has a national platform and to do this kind of damage. But like, is the winning strategy in national wise to alienate African American people? I do not think that is the winning strategy. We've seen time and time again, especially where Georgia's real close, but it seems like a motivated African American voting base is going to not turn out for Republicans.
I think Florida's doubling down on the fact that they have enough fucking Cubans that'll do what they want.
But the thing is like this is all going to affect DeSantis's national profile, and his national profile, he's jumping off with racism and homophobia, which again will work with your base. But I'm pretty sure we've had a couple of elections in a row where it hasn't fucking worked out great for them nationally. And I'm just like, I'm not saying I want to see more of it, but it continues to make me question the political fucking genius of Ron DeSantis and his people.
You know, I was talking to a librarian and she was telling me, she's
on
like,
TikTok?
No, this was a DM on Insta, actually. Someone who I worked with in Chicago, at Broadway in Chicago. And she was like, you know, if there were more queer books when I was growing up, it probably would have taken me till I was 30 to realize I was queer. Now, this is a mother of two who is married. You know what I mean? And happily that. But the thing is, it's like, here's to all the book banners out there, like, and especially if it's coming from a homophobic standpoint, queers of all colors exist. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get rid of us. And families have changed now. And if you think that talking about Susie's two daddies is somehow a grooming agenda, you're kind of fucking nuts. Like you can, and truthfully, shout out to Barnes and Noble, because when I was young, and I was old enough to like finally get out of my parents' grips, or like had friends who drove, and we went to Bloomington Normal or whatever and went to the mall. Barnes and Noble's LGBT section at that time, wasn't all those letters, at that time really helped me out. Because if I was saying this before recording, if I did not, if there were more queer books that like even gave me a hint that our sexual health mattered, that what we were doing mattered, I probably wouldn't have had a hemorrhoid at 13 years old because I let some guy just spit on his dick and fuck my ass. You know what I mean? I would have known maybe at that time that use a little lube. You know, like the thing is like kids, and not just queer kids, kids of all fucking whatevers, have changing bodies and have reservations about sharing that with their fucking family, like their loved ones. Like nothing is scarier than puberty as a fucking kid in this country, because no one wants to talk about fucking sex and sexual health. And it's wild. Yeah.
Hormones plus hemorrhoids equal poor mental health. And I agree with you. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know,
I didn't know what a hemorrhoid was either.
I get
you
it.
know what I mean?
It.
Like it's like suddenly there was something on my ass that hurt real bad, and there's nothing I could have fucking done about it. I wasn't about to tell anyone.
You know what that was? That was the devil poking his head out. But seriously, if
I rebuke you, devil, I rebuke you.
Yeah, a little preparation H on your head.
Preparation H.
That's all it took. You just holy water. I think if you don't, you fucking idiots, parents, don't want your kids, and I kind of agree with this. I don't think 12 and 13-year-olds should be getting all of their sexual education from porn. Okay? I think we can agree on that. Do I hate porn? No. Do I think we can agree that kids shouldn't be getting their sexual education from porn? Yes. Do you know how to stop that from happening? Let them read a motherfucking book.
Let them read Not All Boys Are Blue.
Let them read a motherfucking book.
Like, let them read a goddamn book. And, you know, the thing is, too, it's like, oh, you know, the kids might be a little better off now because they have Google and whatnot. But we all see how we all get too crazy on WebMD. You know what I mean? Like, we should not the moment we start reading like symptoms, we're like, I have it. Yeah. Ovarian cancer. I don't have no ovaries.
Yeah. That's what it was like. Luckily, I'm sorry, sir. You don't have ovarian cancer. It's just a hemorrhoid.
A hemorrhoid.
But I understand how you might get that wrong. You were raised in Florida.
And look, you mentioned before we leave, because we are at time, you mentioned that you heard that maybe gay people might be leaving Florida by the droves.
Mm-hmm.
Do it, Florida.
Get out if you can.
Do it. Gays in Florida, LGBTs in Florida, get the fuck out of there. If you have the financial means to fucking move, and you're not far. Like, isn't one of the Carolinas good? Like, isn't there like, like you're not far.
Georgia.
Take it to Connecticut.
Put more people in Georgia.
You're not used to fucking cold weather, but Connecticut's great. You know what I mean? Like take it to another fucking state if you can, because fuck that. That's the only way they're gonna know is if they start losing population, because hurricanes aren't doing it fast enough.
I just, I'm interested to see what this does become, because there are clear outcomes and consequences to fucking attacking a group of people. Good, bad, like there will be hate crimes and there will be fucking poor education. Florida will get worse when it comes to how it understands gay people, but also Florida is not necessarily known as not a gay place. Miami was one of the gayest places in the fucking world from when I was growing up, thinking,
Birdcage made me think
I don't know if it's the same
fabulous
thing. Yeah, I mean,
Birdcage had me going,
Yeah.
And here's also to queer people, and especially queer people that I fucking know that are famous or whatever, don't go there. I don't understand if
I hear
you
that.
are not in a position where you don't need to take a gig in a fucking homophobic place. Why are you still doing it? This is the power of greed, though, too. And this is what fucks me up even about our own community. It's like, look, we're all hurting for money right now. But if you're not, and you can say no to a fucking gig in Florida and give a fucking reason that's going to make a difference, do it. Be a part of the solution. But going and taking that money there and putting your money into their economy, that's like just eating Chick-fil-A and fucking In-N-Out.
I agree with it. If in some way, somehow you are putting money in the pocket of Ron DeSantis, you are doing a disservice to gay people. And black people. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. He is single-handedly taken on the mantle of the leader of the culture wars, and that makes him an enemy. It does. Clear and simple. Yeah.
Well, listen, we did it. We have come to the end. We went a little over, but had some passion in there. A little irritated about these book banners. But listen, Casey, why don't you tell people if you're up to anything, if you're doing anything, where they can find you on the social medias?
I should have prepared that. Sorry if you came to see me at Sketchfest last week and bought tickets to any of the shows. There was a last-minute unfortunate cancellation. But for all of you who bought tickets to the Bruce Campbell roast, you heard my jokes without me being there. There will be more stuff on the calendar coming up, but currently I am nursing some wounds.
Not his.
So to speak.
Social media?
Who cares? It's all full of fucking racist and crazy people and librarians who get into fights with Tony. You can find me.
You gotta get on the TikTok, Casey.
Yeah, I guess so.
You gotta get on the TikTok. You're gonna learn stuff on it. And Google things after you think you've learned something. It's not all factual, but I'm telling you, it's a good news source. Y'all, if you like the Gay Power Half Hour, then go to our iTunes page and subscribe to the show, rate the show, leave a comment about the show. We love that. If you are in Los Angeles on any given Wednesday, you can come to Stash, West Hollywood, for Battle Babies, which is a weekly show that I do. 6 baby drag artists compete for your entertainment and cash and prizes. Show at 10 p.m. Also, February 6th is the next Learn the Words Bitch. And I should have had this prepared.
Lisa Chanou is one of the judges, and
Stevie.
What is Stevie's last name?
God, that's
the girls from What's Your Sign podcast.
The gals from What's Your Sign podcast. We have Stevie Goldstein and Lisa Chanou as our guest judges. That is going to be on February 6th. Sign up at 8:30. Showtime at 9. And I am the Tony Soto Show on Instagram and TikTok. And also, if you want to know anything I'm doing in drag, follow Tony Soto Productions on Instagram. We'll be back again next week. Maybe. Bye. And